Alright, let's come at this from a different truth. There's a moment when you realize you're not asking your PC to do anything crazy, you're just asking it to feel solid. That's exactly where the Gamer Master fits. Before you go any further, take a quick look at the current price and stock. Systems in this range tend to shift quietly, and people usually notice after it's too late. This is for the person who values consistency over hype. You don't need extremes. You want a machine that shows up the same way every time you sit down. No warm-up struggles. No random dips. Just reliable performance that lets you enjoy what you're doing without mental overhead. You probably hit that realization recently. Maybe your old setup could run games, but only if you lowered expectations. Maybe things felt fine until updates rolled in or multitasking entered the picture. Or maybe you noticed how often you were forgiving small issues. That's when it clicked, you weren't being picky. You were settling. Switching to this feels grounding. From the first session, everything feels aligned. Games stay smooth without babysitting settings. Load times feel reasonable again. You're not watching for stutters, you're focused on what's happening on screen. Long sessions stop feeling risky. Competitive play feels more dependable because performance doesn't wobble. Casual gaming feels better because motion stays consistent. Even daily tasks feel quicker, like the system isn't fighting you for attention. What really stands out is the predictability. Performance doesn't surge and collapse, it holds steady. Once you experience that kind of stability, weaker machines feel stressful, even if they technically meet requirements. Take a second here and check availability again. Builds like this often disappear quietly when people hesitate too long. You might think this sits right in the middle, and that's exactly why it works. It doesn't overpromise, and it doesn't underdeliver. Instead of upgrading around flaws, you finally land on something balanced. Here's the unexpected benefit: peace of mind. You stop worrying about whether the next game will run well. You stop closing apps before launching something. The system earns your trust naturally. Owning it feels smart. Not flashy pride, quiet satisfaction. Like you chose something that respects your time and your money. Every time you look at cheaper options, they feel like compromises you'd notice immediately. Games feel smooth and controlled, performance stays reliable, multitasking feels natural, load times stay fast, everyday use feels responsive. It's not aimed at extreme power users, and it won't chase bragging rights. That's the trade. At some point, comparison stops helping. You realize you already wanted something that just works, consistently. Check the price, trust the decision that led you here, and don't let this become one of those upgrades you delay until frustration makes the call for you.